there's been mixed reaction to the Public Protector's findings, I should say interim preliminary findings on the Phala Phala matter. Last week, the Office of the Public Protector cleared President Cyril Ramaphosa of any wrongdoing in the saga. The President, accused of undertaking paid work while serving as head of state, among other accusations against him. Let's get you a discussion on this now. We're joined by the Acting Public Protector's spokesperson, Ndili Msoki, joins us via our video link this morning. Ndili, thanks very much indeed for coming on. And I suppose that's the question, right? This is an interim preliminary report. It's prohibited for public consumption, but I think, as I understood just earlier, the horse has already bolted. It's in the public domain.
Good morning, Michelle. Thank you for having us on your program. Good morning to your viewers as well. Firstly, I'd just like to lay the basis of what the document actually is. The document is a notice in terms of Section 7.9 of the Public Protector Act, read with Rule 42.1 and 41.1 of the rules relating to investigations by the Public Protector. And in essence, what it is the embodiment of a common law principle, which is known as audi alteram partem, which is to give the other side an opportunity to be heard. This is a very important principle which has been emphasized in a recent Public Protector judgment in the President versus Public Protector, where the courts have criticized us for not adequately following this procedure. So it's quite an important aspect of the investigation process. The parties, of course, have 10 days to respond to this notice, which carries substantiated and unsubstantiated aspects of the complaint, right? But as you also put out, the report has been leaked, which is regrettable, of course, but it remains prohibited to be discussed in the public domain in terms of Section 7.2 of the Public Protector Act. Now, while I appreciate that, as Ayanda has correctly put out, that the horse has already bolted, but we cannot, by virtue of that, knowingly perpetuate unlawful conduct. So that it has come out doesn't change the fact that it is prohibited.
So let's talk about this interim preliminary report. I mean, given how much discussion has taken place, despite what you've just outlined to us, given how much discussion has taken place in the public domain, and given the kind of fallout, the kind of fallout that we're seeing from this provisional report that's been issued by the Acting Public Protector, how much of this fallout will now impede the work that must surely still continue into finalizing this report?
Well, the parties are encouraged and invited to make representations which can either confirm or rebut the preliminary findings of the Public Protector. Having said that, though, I must reiterate that the Public Protector is designed and established as an independent ombud. And so whilst the discussion that is currently going on in the public domain exists, we remain committed to our constitutional mandate to not allow ourselves to be influenced in any way by the various commentaries that are taking place currently.
Can you give us, Ndili, once again, just an outline of the scope of the Public Protector's investigation, just how far the investigation was allowed to go? Because I understand in delivering this interim preliminary report, what the Acting Public Protector also said is that the office has no jurisdiction to investigate a private sale between two individuals or entities. So what are the parameters then for this investigation?
Right. So the parameters that you are referring to would relate to the merits of the matter. And so in the interest of protecting the integrity of the investigation, as I've outlined, we will not be able to comment on that. You see, discussing these sort of things has the potential to prejudice the affected and implicated parties, but also it has the potential to make the report reviewable. And so that is why it's not a good thing to speak about the merits of the matter. Of course, the report in its final form will in all likelihood be made public And at that stage, we can then discuss, our views on things, and we can hear the views of commentators, and attend conferences. It's obviously a matter of national importance. But at this very moment, we are unable to give you any commentary on that.
Are you able to comment broadly on the fact that the report has cleared the president of any wrongdoing insofar as that break-in at his farm is concerned?
Well, I can only go so far as to say that it is an interim or preliminary conclusion or conclusions that have been drawn in the report. And the Section 7(9) aspect of it, or in fact, in terms of both the section and the rules, allows for the affected and implicated parties to provide substantive representations to the public protector, which would either confirm or rebut the conclusions drawn therein. So absolutely nothing is certain at this particular point, but that is as far as I can take it.
So essentially, I mean, if I'm understanding you correctly, Ndili, what you're saying is that much of the report, given that it is an interim report, is still subject to change?
Correct. The report in its current form is based on whatever representations are made, which we don't know at this point, by the affected and implicated parties, may either be confirmed or rebutted. That is why it's interim. And
so these implicated parties now have 10 days. I think maybe the amount is now 7 days to make those representations to the Office of the Public Protector.
Correct. Give or take, of course, any kind of extensions which may or may not be required, and so forth. Yes.
So when do we expect the report to be finalized?
So at this stage, we wouldn't be able to tell you an exact date of when it would be finalized, because we don't know what the affected and implicated persons are going to submit, either in confirmation or in rebuttal of the preliminary conclusions which are found in the notice. And so we don't know the extent of the information or how voluminous it's going to be. But as we had reiterated in our prior media engagement surrounding the issue, we are trying to do it as timelessly as possible.
And you said that the implicated persons have 10 days from the issuing of this preliminary report. That includes the president to make those representations?
All of the implicated and affected persons have the same 10-day period.
All right, Ndili Msoki, let me thank you for your time this morning. Given that there is not much that we can discuss insofar as the intricacies of the report itself is concerned, Ndili is the Acting Public Protector's spokesperson. Certainly a story we have our eyes on here on Channel 405.